Hi, good morning everyone. My name is David Ritchie. I'm the Careers Advisor here at St John's. And if you remember, back into Year 8, you did, in the summer, a virtual work shadowing day where you met and talked to family members and friends about their jobs. That had something to do with. And then back into Year 7, if you remember right at the beginning, you had a STEM event where you met with lots of different science and engineers. I had a hand in that as well. That's kind of my role in the school, is to bring you opportunities to understand more about different careers and different pathways. And in particular today, we're going to be talking about different pathways, making choices, your GCSE choices that are coming up in the new year, and the implications of those beyond that. I thought I'd just start with putting this in context. And the context is you on a learning journey, and you are about to, as I just mentioned, embark on making GCSE choices, and in some cases actually some BTECs potentially, but you have to think through why you are doing that and what inspires you to pick them. But that's the beginning of the journey, really, Key Stage 4, because beyond that you have the opportunity to look at A-levels and alternative qualifications. I mentioned BTECs and CTECs, but also these things called NVQs, National Vocational Qualifications. These qualifications you will pick up if you choose to do an apprenticeship, either at 16 actually, or even at 18. Beyond that, many of you may consider going on to university to study a degree, either a science or an arts degree, BA or BSc. And beyond that, if you want to get into more depth of your subject, then you can look at a master's program. On the top of the tree is a PhD or a doctorate program. That just contextualizes how that journey might go over the next few years. And people opt into work and training all the way through that program, and then sometimes opt back into learning or manage to mix the two up. But for today, we're talking about GCSE choices particularly, and the need to be super careful how you research. Now, I know the program is starting particularly in the new year, sort of end of January, February time, but it's no harm in starting to think about it now. It's important to get your head around it now. Please look at all the options. Also consider the core subjects, but look at the options carefully and explore the curriculum detail. Your experience of Key Stage 3 will absolutely help, of course it will, but don't assume that the learning in Key Stage 3 will be the same in Key Stage 4, but perhaps just getting harder. The content will be different, the approaches will be different, so study them carefully. And in fact, the opposite might be true. There may be things that you don't enjoy so much in Key Stage 3, that when you look at the curriculum content in year 10 and 11, you really fancy it. So research carefully. But think about your decision-making criteria. How are you going to choose? Because the choices you make have implications. And I'm going to return to this word time and time again during these slides. Do not take this process lightly, because the implications of your GCSE choices will be there when you get to the middle of year 11 and you're thinking about post-16 choices, and could even come back and be important when you're thinking about your options at 18. So implications of your choices now are super important. So what will your decision-making criteria be? Look for balance, a balance between arts, perhaps humanities, sciences, but play to your strengths. The core curriculum really stops you getting this awfully wrong. But you can absolutely get it wrong at the margins, so consider extremely carefully those subjects where you can show that you have been successful and show where you have had pleasure in studying. So what do you enjoy and what are you good at? And if it's a new subject you're going to pick, you just have to make linkages to other subjects. Are they highly numerate? Are they highly literary? And are your strengths there? So please make choices based on your plans, your abilities, and what you enjoy. And everybody's different, and everybody will consequently make choices that are just a little bit different. And remember that word again, implications. The choices that you are about to make will have implications when you get to year 11 and beyond. So think carefully. And this page comes with something of a health warning, because this is the current offer, and these change every year. But I just thought it would be helpful to make this look a bit real. So the left-hand side shows the core curriculum. The option choices currently are the options on the right. And although they will be potentially a little bit different when you come to make your choices, in essence, it will be the same areas. So just begin to think, again, as I said before, what will be the implications of those choices? Which subjects do you enjoy most? And which subjects have you got evidence of being successful at? But I said right at the beginning, this was about looking longer, looking further down the line. So I think it's important just to remember that after Key Stage 4, you have big choices to make. The biggest educational choices of your life to date, I would argue. And here's that word again, implications. The choices that you make now will have an impact on what you can do when you get to 16 and beyond. Many of you will want to stay at St. John's Sixth Form and study an A-level programme or a BTEC and CTEC mixed programme. That's absolutely fine. You will learn a whole lot more about that later down the line. But alternatively, some of you might want to look at other schools because perhaps the subject combinations at St. John's don't work for you. That's absolutely fine too. It's important you get the full picture. Many of you will want to find a different way to learn and a different way to gain knowledge and absolutely a different way to be assessed. And I would hugely suggest that you explore our local colleges, West Herts in Watford, Oaklands and St Albans and the Harrow colleges. There's plenty around. These courses, on the whole, focus on different areas of work. So health sciences, sport, travel, engineering, manufacturing, care, construction, all sorts of a huge number of areas. And they get away from an exam-based model of teaching and learning and assessment, and it's more done in coursework and chunked up like that. So please do explore those too. And finally, it's important to get your head around apprenticeships. I'll talk to you lots more about apprenticeships over the coming years, and whether you approach this as an option for you at 16 or whether you approach it as an option for 18, either way it's fine. But some of the rewards for going down the apprenticeship route are huge. But it is just one of those 4 other options that you will get to when you're in year 11. And remember, the implications of the choices that you make now absolutely could have an impact on the choices that you have when you get to 16. I want to move on and look at some areas of research now, and careers research, but also pathways research, as I was mentioning before. Please talk to your teachers and your tutors and your friends and your family, as you did back in year 8 with that work shadowing day. Learn from them. They have really interesting lives and do a whole variety of different things. But also, please take advantage of the knowledge that I've got in school. Please come and talk to me. I'm in the library. You can email me. You've had to access Unifrog through email, so I hope you're becoming more comfortable with the idea of using email. I use it all the time. It's a fabulous tool for us staying in touch and for arranging appointments and what have you. So yeah, do talk to me about careers and about options and about your choices. Come and find me, make an appointment, and we can put that in train. Just before Christmas, you logged into Unifrog for the first time, and I've already heard from some of your tutors that you're well engaged with it, so that is brilliant. It is a great tool. It's the best careers tool that I've found in years. I'll be so disappointed if you don't get into this in a big way over year 10 and 11 and into the sixth form. The sixth form do all their higher education research through Unifrog. It's a phenomenal tool. But for now, just carry on using it the way you're using it. You've done the questionnaires, that's a great start, and that led you on a path of exploration. I would like you now to look at some other parts. So have a look at the activities and the competences in particular. The activities is an area where you can store things you have done. And these are really important. You won't know when they're important because they become important at different times. So applications to school, sixth form, applications to college, applications for part-time jobs. One day when you're thinking about universities, looking back at the things you've done will become really important. And you'll have to use them as evidence. So capturing them into Unifrog just means you don't lose sight of them. So whether it's a drama thing, a sport thing, a music thing, a creative arts thing, a scouts thing, a team thing outside school, or a Duke of Edinburgh, it doesn't matter. All of these things can be recorded in the activities section, and it's a matter of seconds to do it. Likewise, look at the competences. That's another word for skills. Unifrog call them competences. If you go onto the competences tab, you will find that they're all listed, about 12 of them. Pick a few and see if you can think of examples when you have used these skills or competences, and record the example. Again, for the same reasons I said with the activities, they will become useful one day when you need to make an application. If you can do them all, that would be fantastic. That would show you're a hugely well-rounded person. But also remember that as you go through Key Stage 4 and into the sixth form, you will be changing and developing and doing new things, and so you can update your competences. And the interactions on the right there, that's an interesting button. You will find that we can communicate through that. In fact, I will more than likely put this presentation in your interactions file. If we have a meeting and we discuss options and plans, I might write up some notes. I'd put them in your interactions file. And you and I, of course, can both see that. So, coming to a conclusion, I would like you to just read this carefully, but I'm going to stress the first bullet point first. The whole point of making your GCSE choices is so that you can pick subjects where you can be successful and be happy in your learning. So ultimately, you can demonstrate how good you are. Because by demonstrating how good you are means that you will have choices as when you get to 16, as I mentioned before, with staying at school, college, apprenticeships. So just read that list, please. And I think that brings us to the end of this presentation, really. Remember where I'm based in the library. If you want to come and talk to me about any of your plans or options, then that's why I'm in the school. All right? They become more and more important conversations as you go through the school. But like I said, the implications of the choices you make now are really important. So I wish you well and hope to be speaking to you soon. Bye-bye, and thank you very much.